love my HBCU. And boy, I love it, love it. I love it, love it. I love my HBCU. And man, I hope my team they won one. I hope my team they won one. Yeah, man. I hope my team they won one. I hope my team they won one. I tune into the HBCU Sports Lab to see if my team won or lost. If they lost, I'm quiet as a mouse. But if they won, keep tab. I'ma do the dab, yeah. Dr. Cavil, he know what he be talking about. Mike and Charles, they know what they be talking about. They compress the analytic data with the hip hop. If you know them like I know them, they gon' tell you if your team, if they won or lost, and who the ball. So listen to Professor, yes sir, and pay attention, cause he gon' teach a lesson.
In terms of what goes on. But let me say, welcome to episode 730 inside the HBCU Sports Lab, as we are live here at Quotes for Prairie A&M's homecoming. This is where Coach Jackson, the Prairie A&M head coach, does his coaches show. He will be right up after us. We might sneak and see if we can get him on the show. Depends on what time he decides to let practice go today. But you know how that goes, Charles. You know how coaches is.
The
main thing is the main thing.
They put in the work.
So welcome to episode 730 of Inside the HBCU Sports Lab, radio show and podcast. The show that's covering the sporting HBCU diaspora, all things HBCU sports for institutions large and small, from the NAIA to the NCAA. We share insights and information on the HBCU sports culture, HBCU athletic aesthetics to facilitate the story of HBCU athletic program and the business of HBCU sports. I'm your host, Dr. Kenyatta Cavil, along with my co-host, Mike Washington. We got the little helmet here. I think he's still down on the yard somewhere. He probably done snug into something. It is homecoming. But we'll see. Maybe we can get a little glimpse of Mike Washington. It's my understanding he is in Houston, Charles.
Big brother Mike kicking this one.
I like that. Big brother Mike, too. You're right. We're going to leave it right there. Big brother Mike. We're filming from our home studios to send a signal live to Caseway Short 30M Studios with the Texas Radio Hall of Famer, multi-Hall of Famer, that is Ralph Cooper, and a beautiful home at Texas Southern University from Houston, Texas. Charles, how you doing today?
I'm doing well, Doc. I mean, it's a homecoming weekend. I think we got some inclement weather coming in, but there's definitely palpable.
You had to say something about that.
Yeah, but I think people are still excited about homecoming, so I'm really.
Oh, no, you don't have to worry about it. This review. This is
I know. I'm really excited about that.
Yeah, they're gonna be out there in the rain.
Yeah, exactly.
It don't matter. Now, Coach Jackson say they need to get the line, so I don't know where they're gonna be in the stadium.
He was dead serious,
but they're gonna be at homecoming.
Dead serious about that.
Yeah, he was serious. He was real serious about that. With that being said, today's episode of Inside the HBCU Sports Lab is sponsored by THG Agency. THG Agency is a company that provides sporting, educational consulting, and data analytics. With that being said, let me say thank you for all those that are out here listening to us live here at Quote. Shout out to King himself, Carl. How he does it. You got the DJ out here. Man, they used to partner up back in the day, boy.
Really?
And they used to do some part. They still do it, but they don't partner as much.
Okay.
Because DJ Chris Williams has now become a doctor.
Oh.
You know how to do when you elevate? You know what I'm saying?
Well, they say doctor.
No, he just shot you to the woods. You know, he got all them degrees now. You ain't winning. Do y'all even talk now?
We talk here tonight, man.
Doctor still getting in.
I'm just telling. That's my man. We're going to get to talk to him a little bit about, being chief of staff. He's also multi-level. Chris, what top three things you do? Because there's so many. What is that? What you doing?
I'm the GM of Prairie football.
All right. He got to the point now. He done finally learned how to say no. He's the GM of football. Or at least that's all he gonna tell us.
Right. AD Drew sitting out there as well, Doc.
Let me give a shout out to AD Drew. How you doing?
Doing all right, Phil.
Yeah.
Doing all right,
Go
fellas. Y'all enjoying what I enjoyed last week. I'm just at the SIC Cross Country Championships this weekend. So
hey, what y'all looking at? How y'all usually pretty talented in the cross country sports. Y'all got a shot?
I plan on bringing home the big boy and the little boy. Where I don't plan on bringing it home.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I want to hear. That's what I want to hear.
Boy, that being the team trophy, and the little boy that being the individual trophy for the first place also.
Well, let's get into some news of the day. I'm gonna stay with you, AD Drew, since you over there holding it down for us. What's your news of the day?
Well, let's start off with this talk. We never got to this this week, so let's talk about attendance, Dr. Cavil. You know, since your head coach Jackson wants to call people out and tell them they need to get their tails in the stands, but in order to get into the stands, you got to get into the line. So, we need to fill up the stands. So last week's attendance, and these are the marks that y'all need to look for down there in Prairie View, Texas. Number 1, Florida A&M Alcorn, 25-5-50. Prairie View versus Southern. Now, y'all 23 on the road, 23-7-15 on the road. What y'all do at home this week? We're going to see. Number 3, my institution, Morehouse versus Lane, 17-8-1-8. Those three, no, let me keep going. Number 4, Winston-Salem State versus Livingstone, 16-500. Number 5, Tennessee State versus Howard, 14-0-5-6. Number 6, Miles versus Clark Atlanta, 11-5-1-8. What do those all have in common, those top 6? Those were homecoming matches last week. Those were the 6 that drew over 10,000, and all 6 were homecoming matches. So I'll leave it right there.
Good stuff. Let me go to you. You hear the attendance now.
Yeah.
You know how I did folks about that attendance start the year.
Yeah. And guess what? Guess who's creeping? Who's back up there?
I knew you found. That's why I let you do that. That being said, what's your news of the day?
Yeah, let's take a look at some weekly honors. We'll start with the MEAC. As Howard was only MEAC school working last week, so let's take a look at what they did. Howard linebacker Judah McGinty. He's been named MEAC Defensive Player of the Week as announced by the league office, as well as teammates Ben Chandler and Liam Allen IV were also honored, earning Rookie of the Week and Specialist of the Week, respectively. Let's take a look at McGinty, the 6'2", 215-pound senior, led the Bison with 7 tackles, including 3 solo stops, 1.5 tackles for a loss, along with a quarterback hurry in the matchup against Tennessee State. His teammate, Mr. Chandler, he contributed 5 tackles, 4 of them solo in the contest against Tennessee State. And then Liam Allen IV, the 6'1", 185-pound freshman punter, he averaged 43.5 yards on 6 punts, with 3 punts of 50 yards or more and 1 down inside the 20-yard line.
Good stuff. Shout out to these players of the week in terms of what they're getting done. But let me go back to you, AD Drew. What else is on your mind for this week?
So we just not going to talk about the elephant in the room, everybody, right?
Go ahead.
Oh, the elephant in the room for me, we all know what went down on the bluff on Monday. But here's the elephant in the room for me. Right now, the Southern Jaguars have not one, but 2 coaches that are no longer at the institution still on payroll because of the buyouts in their contracts. Let's go back to November 2023 when Southern released Eric Dooley, $460,000 settlement spread over 3 years.
That was just 2023?
$333 and 33 cents for all y'all non-math pages out there. That payment is good until January of 2026. So they have one more installment due to Coach Eric Dooley. Now, let's talk about what's left on Coach Gray's contract. His contract, which runs through December 2026. So he's got, what's that, 14 months left on his contract, 14, 15 months.
Yeah,
that's
which
right.
paid $250 per year. So Southern is going to be on the hook for that for this year and for next year. So I know Southern has the largest budget in the SWAC, but right now there's about $250,000 $250,000 plus that is owed out to two coaches who no longer are there.
How frustrated do you have to be with the coach that you like? We're not even going to let you play it out where we could just have a fee of 75. Like, don't worry, we'll give you your money, but just go home.
Yeah, I mean that's a tough level of frustration, and you take a look at what's going on down there. They just, quite honestly, they haven't gotten it right. You talk about Eric Dooley, you talk about Terrence Graves. I don't know what the right answer is, but
Back up to Dawson Odoms, Charles.
Back up to Dawson Odoms, exactly. To let Dawson Odoms get away, but I mean, I sympathize. I've been there. I went through it with Jackson State, so you hope at some point, they get things back on track, but it's a tough go right now.
Well, you know how Jackson State got it right.
They thought outside the box.
Well, it wasn't just that.
Well, correct.
Let's first go back to the president that hired Ashley Robinson. Ashley Robinson thought outside of the box.
Yeah.
Got the buy-in to the credit of Biden, the president at the time, that okayed it. But the point I want to get out there is they made a significant hire at the AD. They trusted the AD and let the AD make the decision. I see one of the challenges that I think Jackson State had previously and what Southern is going through now and some of the other schools that do it, is a lot of other folks with their hands in the cookie jar. It might mean well for the program, but do they have the expertise to really go out and do the search on the coach?
That's $1 million question, and I think you have to take some of those hands out of the cookie jar, as you mentioned. Ashley Robinson was able to go out and you put that trust with the athletic director to go out and go find the right individual. Struck gold. Jackson State was able to struck gold, and now look 5 years later where they are. So it was a tremendous reset of Jackson State football program.
So, AD, I'm going to go back to you, and I want to be careful about this because we know where your bread is buttered. So I want you to think about this holistically. In your experience in athletics, when an AD is able to make the hire versus when you have a lot of folks that may not have the same level of experience, again, I don't want to say these folks don't mean well, but there's a difference when you're making decisions various ways across the institution versus when you're move through athletics and understand that landscape. Where have you seen some of the better hires being made? When the athletic director makes the hire or when the other individuals, whether it's board members, presidents, chancellors, or even people somehow outside of that makes the hire?
Well, I can look at this for a couple of ways, and obviously, I definitely won't pull the hood back on institution where I work at, but I will pull the hood back on the institution that I graduated from. That being Florida A&M. It's interesting that you mentioned committee, where Florida A&M is probably the king of the committees, and they had an 18-person committee for one of the hires. I can't remember whether it was the football or the basketball hire, but they had like an 18-person committee. And then they still got down to the finals and added people in. But it was the same thing when it came to the athletic director and everything else. So a committee can be a good thing as long as the people are qualified or sports knowledgeable people. But you've got there's one thing to have the committee. There's the other thing to go with the recommendations of the committee, set the guidelines, and do it. Don't come in because you mad because your cousin didn't make it to the on the final 3 cut list, but you want to add them back in for that last interview and things like that. Now we all know during these hiring cycles, things play out. You may have your number one candidate, be it that you hired them yourself, Dr. Cavil, or that this person came from the committee. But I guarantee you, if you're talking to that person, somebody else is also talking to that person. So things may play out, especially
where a person turns it down. They
turn it down,
and that's to me it's different. I do want to jump in because we want to get in this. We want to get into this first break. I want to get
one thing I want you to think about. And I was talking with somebody about this earlier. And this may be a case study that we need to look at, Dr. Cavil.
Right.
If you notice, the teams that were good during the 20 teams, pre-NIL,
Yeah.
pre-transfer portal, or the teams that are struggling post-NIL, post-transfer portal, and the teams that were down, such as the Jackson State, such as the Florida A&M, you know, some of those teams that were down are now the teams that Alabama State are now the teams that are doing good post-NIL, post-transfer portal. It's something we need to take a look at and see what are the factors that have led to that shift.
Right. Let's get in this first break. Great points there. I will add this. I know 2 hires that where the athletic director made the hire. And look how they doing last year, this year, which is Prairie View A&M this year, and South Carolina State last year and this year.
Yeah.
We just talked about Jackson State and actually being able to make the hire.
Right.
Intriguing to me. I know this is a small sample size, but something to think about. Let's take our first break. We'll come back on the other side. We'll get into a little talk in terms of bringing in the GM, see if we can get in here, get him to talk to us a little bit about what he's doing. And then we'll get into some matchups for the last half of the segment and see if we can sneak a segment in with Coach Jackson before he gets going with his show. With that, we'll be right back after our first break.
Hello, my name is Tremaine Jones, a tight end at Prairie View A&M University Panthers football team. When me and my family and teammates are out in Las Vegas, we like to dine at Chick-fil-A, located on 9830 West Flamingo Road. I encourage you to do the same, and for good food and a fantastic dining experience. The owner and operator, Ron Peterson, is a graduate of Prairie View A&M and will be excited to see you as a guest. Go Panthers, go Swag. Hey, Emo Chicken.
Yeah. I love my.
Football fans, the Cricket Celebration Bowl is celebrating 10 years of crowning an HBCU national champion. A champion will rise at Mercedes-Benz Stadium on December 13th as the MEAC and SWAC champions clash in Atlanta. Join us for championship football, interactive fan experiences, and iconic marching bands. It's an HBCU family reunion that you don't want to miss. See who will be crowned the next HBCU national champion. For event and ticket information, visit thecelebrationbowl.com.
For over 30 years, HBCU Image has been more than just an apparel store. We've been a movement, a statement, a legacy. We celebrate the pride, the purpose, and the culture that make historically black colleges and universities legendary. Whether you're a student or a lifelong supporter, our gear lets you wear your HBCU story with confidence and style. Because when you wear HBCU Image, you're not just wearing clothes. You're wearing culture. You're wearing pride. You're wearing purpose. HBCU.
With over 25 years of serving our communities, Destiny Financial Services, a division of Global Life, is here to help you and your family through difficult times. From cancer care to accidental industries to cardiac care, we all know that there are times that you can't control what happens in your life, but you can be prepared to weather the storm when it comes. Call DFS at 877-300-8269 or visit the website at www.globelifeinsurance.com. That is 877-300-8269, or again, the website at www.globelifeinsurance.com.
ESPN Events presents Red Lobster Band of the Year, a title reserved for elite HBCU marching bands. A season-long competition that culminates in Atlanta on Friday, December 12th. Drum majors, percussion, drill, auxiliaries, musicality. All aspects will be examined by the toughest judges in the world of college bands. 4 will qualify for the big stage, where national champions will be crowned. Follow us on social media for rankings updates throughout the season. And join us in Atlanta on December 12th. For event and ticket information, visit
Compress the analytic data with your hip hop. If you know them like I know them, they gon' tell you if your team, if they want to lose, and who the ball. So listen to Professor, yes sir, and pay attention, cause he gon' teach a lesson.
This is Dr. Cavil with Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington, Charles Bishop. Obviously, I have Dr. Chris Williams here. He is the GM of PV Football. I have Charles Bishop. He's dealing with a little bit of Wi-Fi. So, Raymond, before you move, let's turn this a little bit so we can get Charles in here, because I don't want him to be trying to find me. I don't understand how you, the founder of the show, and you still be getting fined. You can relate to that? Yeah, that's perfect. We got us everybody in the shot. Maybe just a little more. Yep, you can look that way. You look straight, whatever you want. You the man.
No, I'm not the man. I'm sitting next to the man. That's right. Man sitting next to me.
So, 80 Drew, I'm not sure how much Chris can hear you, so I'll still allow you to ask a question, but I might have to repeat it. Just want to set that up before we get started for all our lab listeners. So tell us a little bit. We had a chance to talk with you during SWAC Football Media Day about GMs, and for those that may not have caught that, let's talk a little bit about GMs in college football. We've seen this phenomenon at what many people call the Autonomous 4. Some people used to hear it as the Autonomous 5 or Power 5 terminology you hear before. But at the FCS level specifically, and we can even look at the SWAC, MEAC, HBCU Sports if you want to, how many GMs are you aware of at that level?
So far right now, I'm only aware of, I think it's 3 of us that are GMs on the SWAC level. I know other schools are trying to adopt it.
Right.
But where they are in that process, I'm not 100% sure. Now, I will say this. Once we get those things rolling, that means that there's going to be a lot of real sharing when all the schools decide to get on board and have a GM.
No doubt. Let me give a shout out to also all these PV folks out here celebrating homecomings and coming out here to see Jackson. I just want to give a shout out to all that they get done. Appreciate the love. Some of them they listening on their earphone, but while they eat, so you know how we do it. We do it differently. Exactly. They got a little money in the pocket, so they do it differently. And he got a little love. I got to.
We're trying to get there.
Charles, we're dealing with some Wi-Fi issues on Doc's device, so Charles, you may want to take over.
Coming up with some Wi-Fi. So
Unmute yourself, Charles. We can't. Doc went off, so take over.
Well, when Jack first brought me on, it was really to be direct.
Dr. Cavil went off, so if you could take over the interview, Charles.
Sure. No problem. I mean,
direct player personnel, it ended up
I'm gonna turn the camera towards Dr. Williams real quick.
more besides just being player personnel. We built the scouting department. We deal with recruiting, course player personnel. We deal with media, and so all of those departments fall under the GM role at Prairie.
Well, let me ask you a question. In terms of your duty, your day-to-day duties, I think that's kind of a fascinating thing within college football. But in terms of just responsibilities on a day-to-day basis, what is it sort of you're monitoring with regards to the program?
Well, all those things, and especially roster management.
Sure.
Just taking a look and dissecting the roster that we have, who's doing well, who's not. It's very analytical, full of stats and data. Our program now is very data driven.
What kind of prep you for this role within the program?
Like,
Hell of an answer. You gotta break that down.
Yeah, you break that down.
I mean,
And on the serious, talk a little bit about your experience so people understand when you say life literally. You have a very diverse experience, but it's in entertainment.
Mm-hmm.
You've been wanting to get into sports, but you've been able to utilize the diversity of what you've done in the role of entertainment to really pay dividends in sports, which more than ever folks are understanding that sports is entertainment from a business perspective as well.
well, it's all one. It's no. It's the methods are just changing. I'm looking that over, turning that light switch on, right? And so what that's inclusive of, it's sales, it's marketing. It is data. It's who's doing what, who's not. Who's trend first.
Data analytics.
All those things matter. We're talking about the role. And then on top of that, I think some of the other nuances are, when you're dealing with player personnel and you're trying to find the best talent that's in the country. And it's how you're going to do that and who you're going to look at, because the pool is so big. Now, on the entertainment side, of course, on the music side, it's a little different. We could go to YouTube. Now that's the new bloodline of the music industry. But now when you come into sports, what is the bloodline of sports? It's the transfer portal. It's JUCO. So high school guys now are being kind of put on the back burner unless they are able to come into our school mid-year. So you take what we've done thus far, we only have one freshman running back that's playing as a redshirt freshman.
And he came in
And he came last year. Wow. But he's the only freshman ever playing.
Is this the future of college football?
It's definitely the future of college football. So what we're doing, because we're on the FCS level, to answer your question, what we're doing now is, okay, we're looking at mid-year guys. So that requires us to get with counselors and say, hey, okay, we're telling high school kids that they must graduate in December and then come to Prairie so they can come to spring ball, have opportunity. They can come to fall, and of course they come to fall ball. But if they only come to fall ball, they're going to
Good stuff. AD, you got a question you want to ask?
Yeah, just one quick question. And I don't know if he can hear me, so you guys may need to repeat it. Prior to the football general manager role starting to evolve, there was this position called DFO, or Director of Football Operations. So just kind of talk about the evolution, because for those institutions that have a general manager, I don't see DFOs anymore, Director of Football Operations. So you can assume that is what used to be the DFO has evolved into the general manager. Kind of talk about that evolution from the Director of Football Operations to a position similar to what you have.
Okay, so our DFO is Coach Darryl Colbert. I don't want Coach Colbert's job. The reason why I don't want his job is because he's true hands-on, day-to-day, dealing with issues, problems, staff, because he's our chief of staff as well. So he's dealing with a lot of the operational component it's very task driven on a day-to-day basis. I have the flexibility to be creative in what I'm doing, but he does not. So that's kind of the difference. The DFO is not going in because it's truly task driven.
More logistical type stuff with the DFO still.
Yes.
Good stuff. So let me follow up from this perspective, and then we'll take our next break. Let you get back on the other side. what is the biggest item that you see that is necessary for continued success? Prairie A&M football, athletics in general, based on what you are doing to support that success?
The biggest thing I would probably say is a couple of things. Of course, there's always the resource of finance, right? But in dealing in football, there has to be a lot of support that comes externally from football, the fan base. Because if you think about this, and I always like to use this is the analytical piece when we talk about Prairie and it has a 15,000 seat stadium. Right? We play 6 home games a year, right? So if we're doing that, and we're just say our average ticket is $30, ticket. It's 40. What's the math? $450,000, right? That revenue helps secure NIL, rev share, maintenance, scholarships. All those things come into play externally of parking, merchandise, all those different things. So what we're trying to do and what we're feeling we're having to do is change that. All like our fans matter. They truly matter. When they come and support, when one person comes to support, in theory, if they were able to come to 6 games in an entire year, they maybe buy merchandise, maybe buy food. They're in theory, they're putting almost a 0.25 scholarship on one kid. Wow, if they're able to do that. That's how analytical.
That's breaking it down. Yeah.
This is Dr. Cavil inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington, Charles Bishop. Mike Washington is on assignment in the Netherlands.
He's somewhere in Houston.
He might be on the yard. He might be back inside there. Come on, Mike. Take a break. We'll come back on the other side. We're going to start talking about some matches. We're going to get into football. What are the matchups that, in terms of the top 7, Dr. Liz inside the top 7 list? What are some key matches we want to look at? We'll be right back on the other side after this.
Hello, my name is Nick Howard. I'm a wide receiver and a proud member of the Grambling State Football Tigers football team. When I and my team are visiting Las Vegas, Nevada for the HBCU Las Vegas Classic, we would love to dine at Chick-fil-A located at 9830 West Flamingo Road. I encourage you to do the same for great food and a fantastic dining experience. The owner and operator, Ron Peterson, a graduate from Prairie A&M University, will be excited to have you as a guest. Go Tigers, go Sweat, and eat more chicken.
Yeah. I love my HBCU. And boy, I love it.
This is the Dean of the College of HBCU Sports, Kenyatta Cavil of Dr. Cavil's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Come mix it up in the lab where the course lecture is in session every Tuesday from 6 o'clock p.m. Central Standard Time on Facebook Live, YouTube Spreaker, or the BCSN app. As we discuss all things about the HBCU sports culture, including exploring the week that was in the sporting HBCU diaspora, as well as the upcoming week of HBCU sports. With me, the Dean, the College of HBCU Sports, on Dr. Cavil's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Washington and Charles Bishop. Course lecture dismissed.
It's never too early to plant the seed, to share the tradition, and instill a sense of pride in your HBCU with your little ones. HBCU Pride and Joy Children's Boutique helps you share your school spirit with a wide selection of adorable kids apparel and accessories officially licensed from your favorite HBCU. Visit hbcupridejoy.com And follow us on all social media at HBCU Pride Joy on Facebook and Twitter.
For over 30 years, HBCU Image has been more than just an apparel store. We've been a movement, a statement, a legacy. We celebrate the pride, the purpose, and the culture that make historically black colleges and universities legendary. Whether you're a student or a lifelong supporter, our gear lets you wear your HBCU story with confidence and style. Because when you wear HBCU Image, you're not just wearing clothes. You're wearing culture. You're wearing pride. You're wearing purpose. HBCU.
College football fans, the Cricket Celebration Bowl is celebrating 10 years of crowning an HBCU national champion. A champion will rise at Mercedes-Benz Stadium on December 13th as the MEAC and SWAC champions clash in Atlanta. Join us for championship football, interactive fan experiences, and iconic marching bands. It's an HBCU family reunion that you don't want to miss. See who will be crowned the next HBCU national champion. For event and ticket information, visit the celebration.
Compress the analytic data with your hip hop. If you know them like I know them, they gon' tell you if your team, if they wanna lose, and who the ball. So listen to Professor, yes sir, and pay attention, cause he gon' teach a lesson.
Than what they've done out of conference, being able to run the football the way they do. But how do they stack up against their teams within the conference? Howard statistically is one of the best defenses in the conference. So North Carolina A&T statistically is one of the best offenses in the conference. So much intrigue when you start looking at what's over there in the MEAC side of the ball.
Good stuff when we talk about matchups, teams of the season, what it looked like for the SWAC, and what's going on there. And as we get into it, let's go ahead and get into our top 7. We do a major division, mid-major division. For the major division, let me give you the top 7 based on what we do weekly in terms of those posters voting and the algorithm component of it. At number 7, you have Delaware State out of the MEAC. They're 4-3. They have a big matchup this first weekend. We'll get into a little bit. They face off against the top 7 teams out of the MEAC. But you go to number 6. Texas Southern Titans sit at 4-3, 3-1. One loss is to Prairie.
That one loss.
It's right there.
Wow.
South Carolina State is sitting at 4-3 at the 5 spot. At number 4, your Prairie A&M Panthers are sitting at 5-2, 4-0. At number 3, you have Alabama State, the Hornets sitting at 4-2. At number 2, you have North Carolina Central at 5-2. And number 1, Jackson State Tigers 5-1, 3-0. They have been at the number 1 spot for 14 straight weeks, going back to week 10.
I'm getting all these pictures of people in Vegas today. They've already started making their way out there. I'm getting all sorts of texts.
You know, we can't mention Vegas right now after what happened in the NBA.
Yeah, you get the day on the plane. Some of them might already won.
Some of them doing their own video blogs from the casinos.
Well, let's get into that first game. And I just got a call that I couldn't answer for Ronald Peterson that did the NIL. He was just hitting me back as I called him and checked on him. Teams going out there. He's prepping the food for the Chick-fil-A. A lot of times they do food as they get ready to land. And so he's participating in that. Helping make sure that goes. But more importantly, he did the NIL for players at Prairie, 2 players, and players from Grambling State and Jackson State.
Yeah.
Charles.
Jacobian, he look good out there.
Let's look at that first top 10. I got a number 10, Grambling State Tigers sitting at 4-3. They're just 1-2 in terms of conference rate. They're number 1, Jackson State Tigers is sitting at 5-1, 3-0 in terms of conference rate. Charles, what are your thoughts on this matchup?
Well, I'd say with regards to this matchup, Jackson State, they can know it's a lot of fan bases. This is that one fan base that can't quite do that. Grambling has scoreboard. They won last year tremendously. They got after Jacobian last year. And when you take a look statistically, they lead the league in sacks. So that's one of the things that I talked with Coach Taylor in terms of what they're going to have to do in terms of protecting Jacobian Morgan this upcoming week against Grambling. But the thing that Jackson State does well, They run the football, wear you down, and let the defense sort of take over. So I think Jackson State will win this fight.
I like the defense ball just as much as you talk about. Hey, Drew, what are your thoughts on this matchup? Top 10 matchup, number one. Grambling State has a chance to shock the world. Do they have a chance?
They have a chance because you have a team with nothing to lose as well as something to prove. You know, Grambling, they've got 4 wins, 2 of them against non-FCS opponents. So they have something to prove. Grambling, 1 and 2. Right now, they're lost for being out of the race in the West. Something to prove. So with something to prove, you have nothing to lose. Why not? Like Charles said, this is one team that will not be intimidated by Jackson State, just the mystique of Jackson State. So they have nothing to lose. They're gonna come out hard. They're gonna play ball. Now, who's under the center for Grambling? Gonna go a long way in determining whether they can make some noise in this particular game. Jackson State is favored on paper. I expect Jackson State to come out and win this game. But once again, you've got a team with nothing to lose, and that could be a dangerous thing.
I tell you this, Jackson State took some people out there. Man, my social media's been filled up with folks on planes.
Yeah. It's good to hear.
Yeah.
We need folks to have that excitement. It's a good time to be excited about Jackson State.
Those not getting on the plane, make sure you get here to Tallahassee next week.
That's true. Let's look at our next top 7 matchup. We have Delaware State at number 7, 4-3. They're on the road at number 2, North Carolina Central Eagles, 4-2. Interesting matchup. Obviously, Coach Jackson taking care of the Hornets over there at Delaware State. It really has been excited about the football. He's looking forward to this matchup. You're talking about fighting the king of the MEAC, certainly at least one of the kings of the MEAC in terms of a phenomenal program. Coach Oliver over there just continues to reload and build his program. Let me go to you, AD, first in terms of what are your thoughts on this matchup between Delaware State and North Carolina Central out of the MEAC?
Quietly, as it's being kept, this may be the game of the year part 2. You know, we've already had part 1. This could wind up being game of the year part 2. Now, here's what it's going to take for that game to live up to that hype.
Right.
Can Delaware State run the ball against North Carolina Central like they have ran the ball all season long? Can North Carolina Central stop the Delaware State rushing attack? That rushing attack opens up so much for that Hornet offense. That's what's going to make it interesting. 2 things that travel Dr. Cavil: running game and defense. While Delaware State has the running game, I'm still not sold that they have the defense to be able to slow down a North Carolina Central team. But this is going to be a game to watch. Is D-Jack for real?
Charles, what are your thoughts on this matchup?
Yeah, I think one of the great turnarounds in HBCU football. Taking a look at what Delaware State has been able to do this season. When you take a look at their rushing game, Marquise Gillis, James Jones, and Caden Bennett all in the top 6 in the MEAC in rushing. They're going to have to really run the football in this game. But I think it's a little bit too much North Carolina Central, especially when you take a look at the weapons they have. Walker Harris, one of the best quarterbacks in HBCU football, as well as Chris Mosley, one of the top running backs in HBCU football. Plus, they're playing at home. Got to go with the North Carolina Central in this.
Let me get one more in here before we take another break. This is the top 10 matchup. It's the Magic City Class. I will say, for those that hadn't had a chance, it's always a challenge for this matchup because it tends to fall during Prairie View's homecoming. But I've had a chance where it didn't to go this classic, and it is one that if you hadn't been to, make sure you put it on your bucket list. Big time tailgating out there. 60,000 folks in the stand. You can't beat that. It's number 3, Alabama State Hornets, 4-2, 2-1. They're at number 9, Alabama A&M, the Bulldogs. Bulldogs had not had a lot of success. In fact, Some people think that this might have been the final straw for the coach of the Bulldogs last year as they bring in a first-year coach.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I think the thing looking at this is I think it'll be an area showdown with Cornelius Brown and Andrew Body, but I think a little bit too much Alabama State defense. I think they have the better defense in this game. We've kind of, like I said, we've had an opportunity to kind of see teams up close now for a few weeks now, and I just don't think the Bulldogs have enough defense to stop Alabama State.
And what do you think about Sam Shade taking his Bulldogs to Birmingham? You've seen him last year in terms of what he did in the SIAC in Miles, which went all the way for a championship game for the Golden Bears. But now he's trying to do it for the Bulldogs at Alabama A&M. This is the time to really make a statement if he can against the Hornets, which many people think are the second best team in the sport.
In addition to Sam Shade going back to my Birmingham, where he coached Miles, which is in the Birmingham area, but he also coached at Shays Valley High School, which is also in the Birmingham area. So this is a true homecoming for Sam Shade as he brings the Alabama A&M Bulldogs into Legion Field. Problem is, he's got somebody by the name of Andrew Body that is going to greet him. And the way Andrew Body can do so many things off schedule, I don't know if there's another team outside of the team that they lost to that can really keep Andrew Body from creating off schedule enough where that team is able to win. So I'm going with the Hornets in this game, Dr. Cavil and Charles.
Good stuff. Let's go to our next break. Come back on the other side and do a couple more top 10 matchups. And then maybe sneak in a game or two that's not out in the top 10. One that might be sneaky good for a couple of different reasons. We'll see if you're biased when we get back on the other side.
Hello, my name is Jacoby Morgan, a quarterback, and I'm a proud member of the Jackson State University Tigers football team. When I and my team are visiting Las Vegas, Nevada for the HBCU Las Vegas Classic, we would love to dine at Chick-fil-A located at 9830 West Flamingo Road. I encourage you to do the same for great food and fantastic dining experience. The owner and operator, Ron Peterson, a graduate of Prairie A&M University, will be excited to have you as a guest. Go Tigers, go Swag, and eat more chicken.
Hello, my name is Nick Howard. I'm a wide receiver and a proud member of the Grambling State Football Tigers football team. When I and my team are visiting Las Vegas, Nevada for the HBCU Las Vegas Classic, we would love to dine at Chick-fil-A located at 9830 West Flamingo Road. I encourage you to do the same for great food and a fantastic dining experience. The owner and operator, Ron Peterson, a graduate from Prairie A&M University, will be excited to have you as a guest. Go Tigers, go Sweat, and eat more chicken.
Yeah. I love my HBCU.
Greetings, Panthers. My name is Roland Austin, and I'm one of the directors at the 1876 Athletic Foundation. The 1876 Athletic Foundation was formed to promote the success of all 343 student athletes. Our overall goal is to fund scholarships for all of our student athletes. We ask that you help us in achieving this goal by donating to the 1876 Athletic Foundation via the QR code below or 1876.foundation. Your generous donation will help us continue to assist the needs of all of our Panther athletes. Thanks, and go Panthers.
Compress the analytic data with your hip hop. If you know them like I know them, they gon' tell you if your team, if they wanna lose, and who the ball. So listen to Professor, yes sir, and pay attention, cause he gon' teach a lesson.
This Saturday, Sports Lab, right out from Charles Vision for y'all industry. He just turned on his little DJ. Oh, the key, please. With that being said, let's get back into it. Let me give you the top 7 for the mid-major. Told you those are NIA programs and NCAA Division II HBCU programs. I know a lot of times you might not be as familiar with that, but I think it's important that we give those teams their updates, give them their love. And it just makes HBCU fans more in terms of knowledge, more in terms of what it looks like. So let's look at the top 7. Top 7 is Everett Waters, the Tigers. They out of the SIAC. They had 4-3, 3-2 in the conference race. And they were previously ranked 6th, so they dropped. this past weekend. You have number 6 Fayetteville State Broncos. They sit at 4-3 and they're 4-0, 146 points. They moved up with the big win as they are now number 6, previously ranked 7. Let's get in the top 5. The number 5, the Kentucky State Thoroughbred. They're probably the surprise of the season for most folks. I know some people look down there in Florida, have waters, but it's something about Kentucky State and the Thoroughbred. They sit at 6-2, 5-1, and they are in the NCAA race. 164 points, and they stay in the 5 spot. Number 4, you have Johnson C. Smith. Golden Bulls 6-1, 3-1. They have one first place. That conference loss is to Virginia Union, 188 points, but they stay at the 4th spot. Let's look at the top 3. Superlative 3. You have Virginia Union Panthers. They have the CIAA 6-1, 4-0, just like Johnson C. Smith, and they the one that defeated Johnson Smith at total. 2 first place votes, 191 points, and they stand in the 3rd spot. At number 2, you have the Albany State Golden Reds, 6-1, 5-0. This is a strong team. When Gray tried to go down and wreck shop for family, boy, for a half.
One half. It was scary.
2 first place votes, 203 points. They remain in number 2. Number 1, another surprise. Some people may argue that this is more of a surprise than Kentucky State.
Yeah.
That is the Benedict Tigers, sitting at 7-0, 6-0 in the conference race out of the SIAC. So you have 4 teams out of the SIAC and 3 out of the CIAA. Charles, I want to ask you to break this down. You did this Tuesday, but I do want to ask you to go over this next match. We had this at the major division a couple of weeks ago when we had Alabama State, the number 2 team, go up to Jackson State, number 1. And boy, that was one for the ages. Tried to sell it. I know somebody else said Delaware State, North Carolina Central was the second game of the season. I may argue that this is actually the second game of the season. We'll see if it lives up to it. Number 2, Albany State Golden Ram, 6-1, 5-0. Number 1, Benedict Tigers, 7-0, 6-0. In terms of what that looks like, Charles, what are your thoughts in terms of this big-time matchup? Obviously, Benedict has maybe a stronger schedule that's more favorable for them than Albany State. You have Albany State that defeated Kentucky State, so they have some room for error.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if Benedict has the same room.
Right.
Put those some other balls in there that you think about it in terms of what it looks like. Tell me about this matchup.
Yeah, I think looking at this one, and we touched on it a little bit on Tuesday, but it kind of depends on the health of Isaiah Knowles. I mean, as he goes, so goes Albany State. They have a great rushing attack, but they are enhanced, obviously, when they have Isaiah Knowles behind the center. So it depends on the health of the quarterback going into this. We know Benedict plays great defense. They've done it all season, and they're the only undefeated team that's sitting out there. I look for Benedict to take it at home. And again, you're looking for the health of the quarterback. Is what Isaiah Knowles play, because I think if he plays, then you truly do get that sort of Jackson State, Alabama State feel, that 1 versus 2 feel too.
Good stuff. With that being said, Eddie Drew, tell me your thoughts in terms of this SIC matchup. They did win over the matchup, said they hit 7 games for the 3 over the and this, I know Dr. Hollins was smiling really eager with this matchup, featuring the number 1, number 2 matchup out of the SIC.
Wow, Charles is correct about the health of Isaiah Knowles. What Charles failed to mention was the health of Benedict offense, because this offense, despite a 7-0 record, Dr. Cavil, has been putrid at times throughout this season. So can this offense muster enough scoring, especially if there's a healthy Isaiah Knowles on the other side that's going to go tit for tat and test that Benedict defense? Number 2, can the Benedict defense and or special teams continue to score at the pace that they are scoring this season? You know, there have been multiple games this year where the defense and the special teams have outscored the offense. So it's going to come down to offense for Albany State, who's leading the offense, and Benedict, if they can generate any offense.
So, quick update. So, I think AD breaking down that number one, number two. Let's get back to some of these major division games. I do want to give a shout out for those that follow us regularly. Kyle Mosley, HBCU legend, has his analytics, advanced analytics, that we're going to break out probably this Sunday to talk about how we break down matchups from an analytical perspective. So I'm excited about what that looks like, kind of matchup in terms of the games that y'all do and pick games. This is the big one. This is what a lot of folks want to hear about, particularly as they wait on Coach Jackson. This is Prairie game and the Panthers. Lincoln, in terms of what they've done in the SWAC, 0-2. Obviously, you had 40-point shutout between Alcorn State and the Mississippi Valley. I think the Braves put up 42-0, while the Delta Devils had 49-0 the week after. So I wonder if you're going to try to take it up or not. If we look at 56-0.
Well, it's very interesting, in talking to Coach Jackson today, he mentioned Prairie has yet to score 30 points in terms of what they've done this season. So, yeah, I am looking for them to really put up some points in this game. They're going to run the football. It's going to be inclement weather, but I expect nothing less than Prairie to kind of dominate this game. Very interesting. In talking with Lincoln's coach today, he has an overarching goal to get this program to pivot next year and to really want to bring this program into the SWAC.
We got a sighting on Coach Jackson around the corner, so we'll make sure y'all get to him. We'll see if we can sneak him in here before he does his official show. As we do that, we got a couple of more matchups to do. But let me go to AD Drew. What are your thoughts on this Prairie View? They going to name the school? What are your thoughts on this?
It's interesting that Prairie View has not scored 30 points. And when they do score 30 points in this game, make sure you screenshot it because it probably won't be in 30s for long. So it's probably going to be twice that 30-point threshold that Coach Jackson is looking for. So, look, this game, this opponent, this event, homecoming, is one of them. How many of them babies that don't normally play are going to get to play and to make them mamas and daddies happy and keep them off of Coach Jackson's tail for another year? This is that game. This is that game, y'all.
Good stuff. Look at this next matchup. I don't want to break it down. I think it's telling you itself. It is interesting. Like Vic debuts his first conference matchup. He takes on number 5. It is at home for South Carolina State. The Bulldogs have to go on the road 4-3. We know what Bulldogs do in terms of football. Imagine they're going to get it done. But it'll be interesting to see. Can he sneak in an upset or can he at least make it close? No. In terms of what that looks like. Another one that we have is Arkansas Pine Bluff for those the Thule-Pickler Wildcats. And I know that a lot of the Thule-Pickler Wildcats going to be nothing with their Grambling system, but I did make the change. I don't know if the updates. Arkansas Pine Bluff goes line to the 2-4, 1-2 for Thule-Pickler Wildcats. Continue to march. They get a chance to make a statement. The number 8. They get a chance maybe to climb up, depending on where Delaware State, they might sneak in the top 10 with a victory here.
Yeah.
More important for them, they'll be 3-1 in terms of the conference race. Mm-hmm. And then they get to be right there still behind Jackson State, and they hadn't played it yet.
Absolutely.
Yeah, AD golf.
Still a lot to play for. Exactly.
Shout out to AD, the folks who love and checking on folks for Prairie View homecoming. So, with that being said, next one on here, DMP area, Morgan State Bears sit at 3-4, take on Howard Bison 3-4. Somebody's going to feel good starting out the mirror.
Yeah, first team to get to 17 wins this ball game. All defense.
I agree. All defense.
Yeah.
It might not even get to 17.
Yeah, it might not get to 17.
It might be good if we get to 10.
Yeah, exactly.
This was in Mississippi. These two teams, as I said, they took out the opponent of Prairie View's homecoming. Both of them outdid themselves, put up 40 points. Mississippi Valley, the Delta Devils, 1-5, 0-2. Alcorn State Rays are 1-6-3. Fascinating what this looks like in terms of what you have there. Any quick thoughts? I'll get this.
Yeah, I mean, both teams. Well, I think Alcorn probably looked as best as they've looked all season against FAMU. It'll be interesting to see if they can carry it over to this week. So I'll take the Braves in that game at home.
I know we got a lot of folks. They might not be texting you, but they will after the game.
They will.
The last one is the battle between two big brands. Not playing good football for most of the season, particularly Bluff. You had to change the coach to see if that'll motivate players. Southern Jaguars sit at 1-6, 4-3. In terms of Florida A&M Rattlers 2-4, 1-1. Game is actually on the Bluff. Rattlers on the road. In terms of it looks like. Ken Fred McNair put a little match. Get this victory. Or will the Rattlers stay in the race since they still have to face Jackson State as well?
Yeah, I think the Rattlers have got a little bit more to play for. I mean, I think they look as good as they've looked all season last week against Alcorn. I think the Rattlers, they go and get this win on the road.
No, Drew, what are your thoughts on this matchup?
It's the have-nots versus the won't-nots.
Yeah, they break the ball like that. That's pretty good.
Obviously, for Southern, Coach Fred McNair is coming in, trying to make a statement, trying to get some style points so that he can possibly be considered for the permanent job. And for Florida A&M, they're just trying to stay hot, stay relevant, so that when the matchup comes next week, when Jackson State comes in, they actually still have a chance to make some noise in the East. So you got two teams coming in, looking to do something in this particular matchup, but irregardless of who wins this game, I honestly expect this game to be some ugly ball.
I agree with you in a lot of ways to be just that. Charles?
Yeah, I mean, I like the way Florida A&M kind of came out and fought last week against Alcorn. I think they figured out a little something with regards to quarterback play. So I'll go with the Rattlers on this.
Let's take another break. We'll see if we come back and we might have closed. We'll see if we can see Coach Jackson in. If not, we'll turn it over officially. We'll see if we'll have y'all chase and go to YouTube for Prairie to get it yourself. With that being said, is he in here? You ready? Let's take this last break and we'll come on. There you go, Coach Jackson, right there. We'll see him. Got that green bug on, telling folks to get out there live. Get that live. We'll take this last break and bring Coach Jackson on and let him have the show.
Hello, my name is Jeremiah Williams, a defensive lineman, and I am a proud member of Jackson State University Tigers football team. Me and my team are visiting Las Vegas, Nevada for the HBCU Las Vegas Classic. We would love to dine at Chick-fil-A located at 9830 West Flamingo Road. I encourage you to do the same for great food, fantastic dining experience. The owner and operator, Ron Peterson, a graduate of Prairie A&M University, will be excited to have you as a guest. Go Tigers, go Swag, and eat more chicken.
Yeah. I love my HBCU. And boy.
Hello, my name is Tremaine Jones, a tight end at Prairie A&M University Panthers football team. When me and my family and teammates are out in Las Vegas, we like to dine at Chick-fil-A, located on 9830 West Flamingo Road. I encourage you to do the same, and for good food and a fantastic dining experience. The owner and operator, Ron Peterson, is a graduate of Prairie A&M and will be excited to see you as a guest. Go Panthers, go Swag. Hey, eat more chicken.
Yeah. Compress the analytic data with your hip hop. If you know them like I know them, they gon' tell you if your team, if they wanna lose, and who the ball. So listen to Professor, yes sir, and pay attention, cause he gon' teach a lesson.
I'm not going to prolong this. I know you're showing people really want to see Carl do their thing, but we'd be remiss if we at least give them a chance to get on inside the HBCU Sports Lab. Tremendous season thus far, but I know that's not how you look at it. If you have a mission and it's your own. And talk about what are the things that have you excited about this football?
I've just been really proud of the way they've adhered to how we do things. We sat here 10 months ago. We didn't know what players we were going to have. We didn't know kind of what we were getting into. We knew we had to do a lot of creating. 5 months ago, we put a bunch of guys in a room for the summer, 70-plus new guys, guys that stayed and wanted to be a part of us. And we really never know what that's going to look like. Those guys trusted the process on what we do. We put out rules of how we recruit. Everybody kind of went haywire on that. But those guys adhered to it. And I think you see a good product thus far on those guys doing the things that we mandated that they do. And we look forward to the back half of the season starting this week. But a lot of people tried to do what we've been able to accomplish so far. It's not going well. We play a lot of close games, and we don't want to do that. But when you put that many guys in the room that's brand new, and you're able to find a way to win, then you got to kind of sit back as a coach and value that growth, knowing that we're just 10 months old as a program.
Not only that, a lot of those games were on the road.
Yeah.
One of them neutral site, but you've won 3 true road games. And what generally most people would tell you in the SWAC are pretty hostile territory.
Yeah.
So you get it done. So that's a statement itself. You got the 3 of your remaining 4 games at home. But talk about the challenge in the SWAC going on the road and winning a football game.
No, man, there's some environments out there that you can simulate some things at home. You can put some loud music. But man, we went in Baton Rouge last week, and that environment was loud. And then dudes decided to blow them horns, and we couldn't hear nothing. And our kids came over to the sideline like, Coach, man, if we didn't have that practice on Wednesday when we were blowing them horns, we'd be out of control right now. And so there's just some hostile environments. And Alcorn, it's always been tough to play at Alcorn. Since I was a player in this way. It's just always a tough place to play. And for those guys to find a way to win, we're always proud of that. But we got so much more to do, so much better that we need to get until we enjoy it, but we certainly keep our head down too.
I promise y'all we'll keep it short. So any last statements that you want to share?
I'm really eager to get to this game on Saturday. Homecoming is about the game for us. It's another opportunity for our guys to display their talents and to show if they've gotten better from the mistakes that they've made. We're still looking for some things to happen on offense that had not happened for us yet. We're still looking to get better on third down on defense. So we got a lot to improve upon. That's the word of the week for us, improve. I look forward to seeing all our fans and alums watch us. We strive to improve on Saturday.
I will say this. It's open.
It's open.
I ain't got no problem. Go. We made sure I'm good in the suite. Don't ask me for those tickets. They out. I ain't got no tickets. Like, go. We ain't got no tickets. Go say, get them lines.
What the line at, though?
Got no suite.
That's it.
Where them lines at?
That's it.
That's my line.
There it is.
Shout out to all Prairie faithful out here listening, Coach. We'll turn him over to Paul to be the show, but I want to say thank you for listening inside the HBCU Sports Lab. Make sure you share our podcast with your friends and colleagues. I'm Dr. Kenyatta, Cavil, the Dean of the HBCU Sports, coming from inside the lab in the College of HBCU Sports with Mike Watson and Charles Bishop. Again, I want to thank you for listening to Dr. Bill's Inside the HBCU Sports Lab with Mike Watson and Charles Bishop. Mike Watson on assignment somewhere. I think he's down in Prairie. Stuck around. He's supposed to put it work. I think he started his home. So let him know.
I already started. Come on.
Don't say that. We look forward to next week as we discuss the latest in the lab and the news. We appreciate it. We'll be back Sunday to give you updates on your top 7. Follow me, Dr. Kenyatta Cavil, DrKenyatta Cabil. That's Thread, Facebook, and Instagram. Inside the HBCU Sports Lab on Facebook. Inside the HBCU Sports Lab on YouTube. Dream big. Continue to move forward. We will talk with you soon. Charles?
Of course.
AD?
Lecture.
Dismissed.